Human beings live so long today that we tend to divide our lifespan up into a series of distinct ages, and we mark each of these by performing some sort of ritual or celebration. There are rituals of birth, of childhood, of puberty, of adulthood, of old age, and of death. The way we celebrate underlines our roles as males or females. With these important passages of life, we provide ourselves with landmarks, special moments around which we build the rest of our lives. Today, the human animal lives longer than any other species of land mammal. Our lifespan is so long that we try to divide it up into segments. We speak of infancy, of childhood, of adolescence, of adulthood, of middle age, old age, senility. And we create special events to mark our passage from one phase to the next. And usually, our masculinity or our femininity is emphasized, exaggerated in some way by these rites of passage. The events in which we participate make us more male or more female. But how did it all begin? What was the first great human ritual? To find the answer for certain, we'd have to turn the clock back to primeval times and watch the behavior of our tribal ancestors. Now, of course, we can't do that. The best we can do is to look at a modern-day tribe like these Bedouin living in the deserts of the Middle East and use our imaginations to recreate the ancient past. We know that one of the big changes that took place during the course of human evolution was the establishment of a fixed home base, a settlement or a campsite from which the males of the tribe could set forth to hunt for food. This meant that the tribal group had to split up for a while and then reform each time that a hunt took place. So our ancestors had to grow used to this new idea of departures and reunions, and the reunions inevitably were a cause for celebration. Groups that split up and come together again have a lot to discuss. While they've been apart, they've had separate experiences. There are stories to tell, news to exchange. All this helps to make the reunion a special occasion. It also probably helps to explain why language became so important to us. We had something to say. Groups that always stay together and move about as one all share the same experiences and have less need to communicate with one another. We know that at some stage our ancient ancestors added meat to their diet and began to hunt large prey. It was a shift in feeding habits that must have dramatically transformed human social behaviour. Other species, the ones that feed only on vegetable foods, are selfish eaters. Each one eats purely for itself. But when hunters bring back to their base camp a large carcass, there's so much to eat that they're prepared to offer some to the other members of the tribe. Food sharing becomes a whole new way of life. Of course, when we added meat to our diet, we didn't give up other kinds of food. We became omnivores, balancing vegetable foods collected by the women with the meat supplied by the men. When large prey animals are on the menu, meat eaters become unselfish eaters, and the great moment when the precious food is shared out becomes an important tribal celebration. In this way, our remote ancestors first introduced into human social life the concept of a special event. It must have been this, the primeval feast, that was our very first great human ritual. Feasting like this is now so deeply ingrained in human nature that it tends to resurface on all kinds of special occasions, even when the central focus of the events has nothing whatever to do with eating or drinking. 1,000 miles south of here, in the city of Hodeidah, in the Yemen, another feast is about to take place. The individuals involved are not desert tribespeople like the Bedouin, but city dwellers, urbanites with a much more settled society. Here the food will be enjoyed just as much, but eating is not the primary function of this particular gathering. The specific reason for this celebration is the announcement of the arrival of a baby boy. For this crucial rite of passage, the women gather together to rejoice in the fact that the new infant is male and not female. Had the baby been a girl, there would probably have been no ceremony at all. So the rituals performed here with boys and girls are different right from the moment they're born. As part of the celebration, each of the guests donates a small sum of money to give the boy a good start in life. "2,000 miles west of here, in Cameroon, another new arrival is about to undergo a welcoming ceremony. This West African traditional healer must purify the infant with protective oils, which are poured over and then rubbed into its somewhat reluctant body. The slippery baby is now ready to slide easily into the world once more. Held upside down to symbolize the birthing position, it is ritually reborn, this time with the traditional healer's blessing. The use of holy oil to anoint a new baby is not confined to the Cameroon. Here in Greece, at a christening ceremony, the baby's godfather covers this little boy's body with holy oil to protect it from evil spirits and prepare it for a symbolic rebirth. It's given a male name, reaffirming its male identity. The immersion of the child is meant to symbolize Christ's death and resurrection. The child, like Christ, is then reborn. Its original birth, emerging from its mother's body, is seen by the Church as an animalistic act that demands this later purification. While the mother anxiously watches, the priest anoints key parts of its body to seal it with the Holy Spirit.